I wouldn't want to change anything in that journey. जैसे ही मेरी journey अब तक ही रही है, from a Delhi boy to a Mumbai boy. I'm used to that to the point now it doesn't affect me, and I don't even go out to prove that, you know what, I'm much more than what you think I am. I can't hold grudges. I can't hold ill wills. What has happened has happened. I make my peace with it and move on. When the time comes, who's not even standing and you think that's right for you, then by all means go for it. It's your life.
Do you know what the life of a new AD on a film set is like? Do you know what are the struggles of a new actor in Mumbai? And do you want to know about the story of your favorite singer from the Netflix show In Real Love? This one is for the girls. We have someone really smart, charming, and good looking who has won over so many hearts and has girls crushing on him left, right, and center. And do you want to know what happened to him after the show? You're in for a treat, as today we have Chiragg Khatri with us in the studio. Let's get talking to him. Welcome to the studio, Chiragg.
Hi, good to be here.
First of all, we'd like to know what's your journey and take us through your story.
It's too difficult to encapsulate in a single word. It's been everything and it's been nothing, and I know I sound very poetic saying this, but yeah, it's just been a lot of things at a lot of places. But I wouldn't want to change anything in that journey. जैसे ही मेरी journey अब तक ही रही है, from a Delhi boy to a Mumbai boy, schooling college was in Delhi totally, and then my film school happened in Mumbai, and yeah, such has been life.
What was your childhood like?
What was my childhood was like a very normal childhood. Yeah, there wasn't anything spectacular or special, or born and brought up in a middle class family. I have a younger sibling and parents who were always supportive. Yeah, and they always pushed me into doing stuff. They were never restrictive about anything कि ये मत करो वो मत करो, but हाँ लिमिट में हर चीज़ की एक उम्र होती है, उनका ये मानना है. तो हमेशा उन्होंने ऐसे ही बड़ा किया कि जब सही टाइम आएगा तब करना, जो भी है टाइम, like whatever you want to do in life, there's a time for certain things. So yeah, and my relationship with them actually has developed post I moved to Mumbai, because distance actually makes the heart grow fonder. So when I used to stay with them पहले मुंबई से पहले, तब मैं इतनी बात नहीं करता था. मैं अपने जोन में रहना पसंद करता हूँ, तो अपने कमरे में बैठ के किताबें पढ़ रहा हूँ या लगा हूँ अपने सिस्टम पे गेम्स खेल रहा हूँ, गाने सुन रहा हूँ. बट जब मैं यहाँ आया रियलाइज़ हो कि अभी यहाँ पे मेरे इतने दोस्त नहीं हैं, एंड देन आई रियली स्टार्टेड मिसिंग माई फैमिली. तो जब when I met them, that's when I really opened up to them. Over time I've got a lot more closer to my father. इससे पहले मुंबई से पहले I was closer to my mom.
So Chiragg, you're a good-looking guy. So what was your college life like? Did it impact anything? Did you get a lot of attention from girls?
Actually, no. I didn't get a lot of attention back in college. I mean, I'm aware of the fact that I've fallen into that conventionally good-looking part. But college में I never used to keep a check on what am I wearing or ग्रूम करना है नहीं करना है खुद को. तब मेरे को कॉलेज जाना अच्छा लगता था. मेरे को खेलने कूदने में ज़्यादा शौक था, क्योंकि the idea was to just get into a good college, right? And I did. And then I found a lot of friends and I wanted to continue. And it was a very comfortable life in those 3 years. So at that point of time, I wasn't really too focused on dating somebody or, going out on a lot of dates. I was more interested in, I'd rather go home, play a game of football. Like my Saturday nights, and I'm not kidding, were mostly me playing football with my gang of friends. I didn't really have a dating life back then.
So it was like you never even thought about it.
I never actually gave it a thought. I was more into reading and I was more into sports, friends. It was actually when I actually did start dating somebody post my college, that's when I realized कि अच्छा लोगों की एक Saturday night life भी होती है जहाँ लोग बाहर जाते हैं, तैयार होते हैं, अच्छे कपड़े पहनते हैं.
So would you say you were like a nerd?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I always have been a nerd, and I still am a nerd. I don't conventionally look like one, but 100% a nerd.
Does it ever happen that people expect you to be a certain way, but then that's really not what's on the inside?
Yeah, it happens a lot of times, especially in my line of work. When they look at you as a model and suddenly they have this idea, oh, model है तो dumb होगा, बात करनी नहीं आती होगी, सिर्फ जिम की बातें करेगा या प्रोटीन शेक की बातें करेगा. ऐसा नहीं है. जब मैं किसी को बताता हूँ that dude, I have a bachelor's in political science and I've probably read more than your entire family combined. That's when like, oh shit, there is much more to this boy than just looks and protein shakes, which is it's a little struggle for me actually to make a lot of friends on set because I don't find people who read so much. तो मेरी उनसे बातचीत मैं किस मामले में बात करूँ? I don't want to talk about gymming. I don't want to talk about what diet you're on. I don't want to talk about salads. Talk to me about something else. So yes, it happens that people expect me to be in a certain way. They expect me to have arrogance. They expect me to be नकचड़ा कहते हैं ना, बट वो होता नहीं. मैं बस अपने जोन में रहना पसंद करता हूँ क्योंकि वो मैं किसी से बात करूँगा वो कुछ उस बात का अर्थ नहीं निकलेगा.
Do you think maybe people try to put you in a box because of how you look? Has that happened? Any experience like that?
Nothing that I can recall where they were. I mean, I know the feeling that people just look at me in a certain way and they just assume कि ऐसा ही होगा. Good looking है तो attitude ही होगा या body है तो gym ही जाता होगा और कुछ इससे ज़्यादा बात करनी आती नहीं होगी. So I'm used to that to the point now it doesn't affect me and I don't even go out to prove that you know what I'm much more than what you think I am. मेरे को फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता. तो मुझे पता मैं क्या हूँ तो मैं किसी और के आगे किसी अपने आप को क्यों प्रूव करूँ. हाँ, कॉन्वर्जेशन होगी, बात होगी, जानने की कोशिश करेंगे तो पता लगेगा देयर इज़ मच मोर टू मी देन जस्ट लुक्स. एंड स्पेशली पोस्ट द शो लाइक इससे पहले मैं लिखता था बट आई डिडंट यूज टू पोस्ट एज मच. But now when I have started posting about my writing, I have people who've known me tell me that we didn't know you could write. I'm like, that's because you never bothered to ask. तो मैं तो बस वही हमेशा खुश मिजाज हंसता खेलता इंसान ही दिखता. But yes, I am capable of thoughts. I am capable of much more than what you think. So yes, I'm used to it and it doesn't faze me anymore.
So, who is Chiragg?
It's a work in progress. So Chiragg is a work in progress.
But are some things always there? Unchangeable?
Yes, of course. There are some basic things that make you who you are. For me, that's attributes like being patient, being calm-headed, being good to people. And I have this very annoying habit of giving a lot of benefit of doubt to people. मेरी गंदी आदत है, मुझे पता है क्योंकि लोग उसका मैंने रियलाइज दे टेक एडवांटेज ऑफ दैट फैक्ट. या मैं एम्पैथाइज करके बोल दूंगा कि ठीक है यार, आई अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई यू डिड व्हाट यू डिड, आई शुडंट बी डूइंग दिस, आई नो. बट वो एक ग्रास रूट लेवल पे मेरे अंदर वो है कि मैं रात की बात की वाली फिलोसफी फॉलो करता हूँ कि ठीक है, छोड़ो, हो गया. आई कांट होल्ड ग्रजेस, आई कांट होल्ड इल विल्स. व्हाट हैज़ हैपेंड. आई मेक माई पीस विद इट एंड मूव ऑन. Stuff like that makes me who I am. But yes, as I said, that it has to be a work in progress because every day you're experiencing something new and somewhere down the line that experience catches up with you and you realize, oh, you know what, there are certain things that you need to change in yourself. Hence the work in progress. But yes, a little bit of similar like some attributes at the grassroots level do make me who I am.
What are those attributes?
Annoyingly positive कि हर नेगेटिव सिचुएशन में भी चाहे दूसरे इंसान को ज़रूरत भी ना हो पॉजिटिविटी की उस पॉइंट पे, बट आई वुड जस्ट ट्राई एंड मेक दैट सिचुएशन पॉजिटिव. आई वुड ट्राई टू फाइंड दैट पॉजिटिविटी. आई एम प्रैग्मेटिक इन लाइफ, प्रैक्टिकल मेरे को अप्रोच रखता हूँ मैं. ठीक है, इमोशनल हूँ, आई गेट इट, बट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे इफ इट वर्क टू कम डाउन टू इमोशन एंड द प्रैक्टिकल चॉइस, आई नो आई वुड टेक द प्रैक्टिकल चॉइस. Extremely patient with people, with situations. I don't lose my calm easily, and that is something I've developed over time because I've met so many people. I've been in situations where I've had to be patient and I've realized it always works out for the better. So yeah, stuff like that. And just be a good human being at the end of the day. Doesn't matter who you are, just try and be a good human.
What, according to you, is a good human being?
Just be respectful to others, have a bit of empathy, stuff like that. Don't wish ill for anybody. ठीक है, you can hold on to grudges for a little while, but you should have the capability of letting go of stuff. And I mean, good also is at the end of the day very perception based, right? What's good for me is not probably good for you. So I don't really know how to box it into a definition, but yeah, at the end of the day, I would just say, when I say be a good human being, just be respectful of others. Try and be nice to others. Try and be like do unto others what you would want people to do to you, right? So the behavior I would that I expect from people, I should be that kind of person I should have that kind of an attitude towards somebody else as well.
So, Chiragg, what's the good, the bad, and the ugly of Chiragg?
The good is I've already discussed. Bad is, yes, I am patient, but I'm not the most patient guy in the world. I have known, like, I'm not saying I have known, but yeah, there are moments when I get really angry. And there are very rare moments that I actually do end up losing my shit. At that point of time, I'm not somebody I would want to meet because I just get angry and I end up shouting. It's not somebody I would want to come across at that point of time. It happens very rarely. But it happens. The ugly, I'm yet to find out. I've never experienced ugly. So I can't really say what's the ugly, and I would never want to find out what's ugly because I'm not somebody who likes being in that bad zone itself. So let's just stick to the good, I would say.
What has been your biggest life lesson?
It's been my biggest life lesson is nothing is permanent. Nothing's permanent. Everything changes. Whatever time that you're going through, happy, sad, it will change. And just keep on believing in good things. Just keep on believing that good things are gonna happen to you. That's about it. Like wake up every day and just believe, put it out in the universe, do whatever approach that matters to you. Just keep on believing good things will happen and good things will happen. But that being said, not every day is gonna be a Sunday, but nothing's permanent. Things keep on changing.
Was there an experience that made you feel that nothing is permanent?
Yes, I mean, life's not been a cakewalk in the way that, I'm not going to say everything has been easy or everything. I just got what I wanted. I've had to put in the work to get things that I wanted to. Back in 2020, I finally got a breakthrough, that the breakthrough that people in our industry look for. I finally did get one. And it was the best thing I could ask for. It had dance, it had music. I was being taught how to play music, everything that I like. Personally, for me, that was great. Like as an artist, what I could ask for. And I was getting paid to learn. Like I was getting paid to learn stuff, which I would usually pay for. But COVID happened. And the world came to a standstill. So the good time then ended and then a bad time happened. But then a good time happened again, that the world did start healing. I got to stay with my family for a really long time. Really, really long time. And that was probably the only time post-school that I was so much at home with my parents. क्योंकि college होता था, बाहर जाना ये वो उनके साथ मैं रहा. Because I've seen such losses, professionally at least, I know the value of the work that I do right now. With that being said, I've also suffered personal losses where I've lost some really, really close friends. And when I say lost them, just like lost them out of the blue. So stuff like, so I don't like taking calls. मेरे को कॉल कोई अगर मेरे को अच्छा लगता है, आप मैसेज पे बात कर लो मेरे से, मैं पूरा दिन आपसे बात कर लूँगा, बट मेरे को कॉल्स अटेंड करना अच्छा लगता ही नहीं, पता नहीं क्यों. तो मेरे दोस्त भी मेरे को कॉल करते थे, तो मैंने उन्हें बोल रखा कि कॉल मी व्हेन इट्स इमरजेंसी एंड आई विल पिक अप योर कॉल, बट इफ यू कॉल मी टू जस्ट हैव अ चैट, आई एम गोना गेट पिस्ड ऑफ. तो मेरी आदत थी. एंड मेरा एक दोस्त था प्रभांशु पांडे. He was my first friend in Mumbai, like first friend that you can count on, and he moved back to his hometown because due to his family reasons, and he passed away recently. And he and I would always talk about the fact that, one day, because back when he was like when we were in college, we used to talk about, I didn't used to drink then. तो हम पूरे टाइम ये बात करते रहे, यार खत्री एक बार ना साथ बैठ के पियेंगे. And I was like, हाँ. And then he left, I started drinking, and every time we would talk, and I'm not kidding, every time we would talk over the span of the next 3 years or 4 years, we would always say this, you and I are going to drink together one day. And just last month or so, out of the blue, guy was fit, happy guy with his family, had a stroke, heart attack, and just passed away. Ever since then, I pick up all my friends' calls no matter what, because I don't know, man, it's could be anybody's last call, so hence.
I'm so sorry to know about that.
It's okay, it's been...
So Chiragg, where's your story headed?
I don't know. I'm on God's good graces. I take one day at a time. Of course, there is a bigger picture where I want to be at a point where I am creatively happy, I'm satisfied, people acknowledge me for my skills and for the love of the craft that I actually have. I want to reach that point. I want to be financially stable to the point where I can have my parents come live with me and I can take care of them. But with that being said, I'm not a control freak where I'll sit and think about, oh my God, how's it going to pan out? How's it going to pan out? How's it going to pan out? So whatever has to happen will happen. Of course, have a goal, move towards that goal and take life as it comes.
So Chiragg, you're a CrossFit athlete, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
So I don't know what CrossFit is. Can you help me understand?
So CrossFit is a sport where we call it preparing somebody for the unknown. Like no matter whatever challenge life throws at you, at least in physical aspects, a CrossFitter will be able to deal with it. It has aspects from different sports such as Olympic lifting, gymnastics, a lot of endurance work, stuff like that we've taken all across the spectrum and we've combined it together into a well-packaged product called CrossFit. Yes.
How is it different from going to the gym?
For starters, we have the best community ever. You can go to a gym and you might make a couple of friends, but in a CrossFit community, you are part of a class and everybody's somehow in a way accountable to each other. Like we've had times when somebody, if they haven't turned up to the class for a few days, like we start following up, why haven't you turned up to the class? And remember how school used to be fun, you know? It's somehow the same experience, you know, when everybody's working out together, everybody is dying together in a workout. And there is something called a leaderboard, you know, and you want to beat your friend just like by one score. So you end up pushing yourself a little bit. So for starters, it's the community that really, really makes it special. We have a saying that the loudest cheers are for the last athlete, or for the athlete who finishes the workout at the end, not for the first guy, the last guy. I mean, people stay and make sure that the other person gives in their 110%. How many communities can say that? You won't find people in a gym looking at you, be like, come on, you've got one more set to do. They're going to wait. They're not going to stay there and spend their own time on you. But in a community, people are supportive of you. They want you to do better, not just in class, even outside class, which is it's a very tightly knit community. So you won't find that in any other regular gym. Secondly, our workouts are like way more awesome.
How so?
Because again, we pick aspects of different sports and we try and put it into one workout. So you're lifting at a higher heart rate on days. So when you're doing that, your body is getting exercised, your metabolism is getting pushed. You end up gaining more strength. You end up gaining a lot more stuff like mobility as well, because certain movements require you to be that mobile. Hence, so we're not just focus on the fact that you're lifting heavy, but we're also focusing on the fact that you should be lifting correctly. Your body should be able to understand what is putting load on it, how much load it should put, what's progression, are you getting stronger, where do you need to work on, stuff like that. Regular gyms, I don't think can do that. I haven't come across one. And another aspect is the coaching culture, where you see a coach actually, like a good coach will make you fit, a great coach will like take you all the way. A great coach will make sure that you're not only doing your best, but they'll also make sure that you're injury free. You're mentally in the right headspace to do the workout. So great coach actually gets, and I find that in almost all boxes where the coach is actually invested in you. CrossFit happens to be one of the only places where the PT culture or the private coaching culture is not as much propagated as in a regular gym. Like the coaches want you to come and attend a class. They want you to feel the electricity in the environment. They want you to feel the camaraderie because they know for a fact it'll work better. And I've taken classes, like I'm also learning how to be a coach. I want to learn how to be a good coach at some point of time once I get done with competing as an athlete. Taking classes is a whole another ball game because you're in a way accountable to people. I know I lead a healthy lifestyle and I have people coming up to me and asking me, how can we be healthy? Can you teach us something? And I tell them, no, I'm not going to. It's not that I can't, I'm not going to, because then you're accountable to me. Like I can call you up and ask you, why aren't you doing this and that, right? And in a way, I'm accountable to you as well, because tomorrow if you get injured, that's on me. So what I've learned taking a class as a coach and looking at my coaches when they've spent time, when they've stayed back after a class just to make sure that I perform a little better. You don't find that sort of investment in regular gyms. Like a coach will make sure that you're doing your best.
So Chiragg, you were an assistant director. So can you tell me a little bit more about the life of an assistant director?
Yes, I was an assistant director. The life of an assistant director is chaotic. It's chaotic to say the least.
How so?
मेरे फर्स्ट एडी ने मेरे को ये सिखाया था कि एक असिस्टेंट डायरेक्टर की एक्चुअली कोई जॉब नहीं होती. देयर जॉब इज टू टेल अदर्स व्हाट देयर जॉब इज. सो नॉट जस्ट रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर योर सेल्फ, यूर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर एवरी फ्रिगिंग डिपार्टमेंट ऑन सेट. कॉस्ट्यूम को ये बताओ ये करना है, साउंड को बताओ ये होने वाला है, कैमरा डिपार्टमेंट को बोलो ये शूट होने वाला है, स्पॉट बॉय से कोऑर्डिनेट करो. सो दैट वाज व्हाट आई वाज टॉट.
So what is one thing that you need to have to be a good assistant director?
You need to be thick-skinned because no matter what happens on set, गाली AD को ही पड़ेगी. It could be the production's fault, it could be the costume team's fault, but गाली AD को ही पड़ेगी. कि ड्राइवर टाइम पे क्यों नहीं पहुंचा एक्टर को सेट पे लेके, वो प्रोडक्शन नहीं, वो AD से एक सवाल भी किया जाएगा. You need to be thick-skinned. एडिंग इज़ वन हम्बलिंग एक्सपीरियंस. मतलब एडिंग के टाइम मैंने इतनी गाली खाई जितनी मैंने अपनी लाइफ में नहीं खाई. जितना मैंने एक शॉट के लिए लोगों को प्लीज़ किया ना, सर प्लीज़ कैमरा में मत देखो, शॉट होने दो, इतना मैंने अपनी लाइफ में किसके आगे प्लीड नहीं किया होगा. एंड दैट्स जस्ट लाइक अ few chaotic days where I've had to go to just random people who are just looking into the camera and like, sir, shot होने दो, आप कैमरा में देखोगे हम नहीं शूट कर पाएंगे. Thick-skinned, just be thick-skinned and just be prepared कि हाँ सर झुका के ही काम करना पड़ेगा. There is no other way.
It's very cutthroat.
It is. It's no. I won't say aiding work is cutthroat. It's about how much ability you have to take shit, because people will throw shit at you. You will be scolded. And ऐसा नहीं कि कोई अपनी frustration आप पे निकाल रहा है. वो इसलिए निकाल रहा है क्योंकि एक फर्स्ट एडी आपको क्यों बोलेगा, वो इसलिए बोलेगा ना क्योंकि ऑन हिम लाइज द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ रनिंग द सेट, एंड अ डे ऑफ अ सेट इज लैक्स. लाखों का पैसा खर्च हो रहा है एक दिन पे. आपकी गलती की वजह से अगर वो डिले हो जाता है, 12 घंटे की शिफ्ट 2 घंटे की हो जाती है, तो वो अकाउंटेबल है और आप उसको अकाउंटेबल हो. सो इट्स नॉट सो मच एज कट थ्रोट, बिकॉज everybody that I knew in my film school, all of them did their aiding, they got jobs. But how much of them can actually survive and continue dealing with chaos? You need to love the chaos you see on set, right? So you need to be absolutely in love with the job to continue doing it. Because time आएगा when you will need your can of Red Bull and you would be happy being in crisis, because every day something or the other will go wrong on set. You won't expect it till the time the camera rolls. You'll be like, this thing is set. Suddenly camera roll होता है and कुछ problem हो जाती है and you thought this, ये तो होना ही नहीं था, वो problem हो जाएगी, कोई ना कोई तो दिक्कत होगी. So be prepared for that uncertainty. So if you can deal with all of that, you'll find your groove. It's not as cutthroat, I would say. It's just that who can survive the longest.
What is the culture like on the sets?
Different production houses give you different cultures. Some production houses are extremely healthy. My director used to tell me that every film that you work on is like a love affair. You'll get close to people, they'll become your mistress, and after a point, the production will get over, everybody will go their different ways, and then suddenly down the line, किसी और set पे आप उन्हीं लोगों से किसी और capacity में मिलोगे. The relationship will have changed. So different production houses, different sets, and I have been lucky enough to be part of projects where it was the most healthiest environment I could find. Like the people that I've worked with, I still call them up for advice. Like every major professional decision that I've had to take, I've called up my director straight up. I'm like, ma'am, I need your help. Do you think I should do this? Do you think I should not do this? And they've also been kind enough to actually keep a track on what I've been doing. Like we still function as a family. There are days when we do all of us get together. नहीं भी मिल पाते तो catch up करते रहते हैं, follow up करते रहते हैं कि क्या चल रहा है life में. I've been blessed, honestly, that I came across such a culture. But I also know of people who have had to work with a very toxic culture. They've not had the best relationship with their first ADs or with their director, and they've just cut their time on set. सिर्फ time निकाला set पे कि एक और दिन करते करते कि बस ये project ख़त्म करना है. But मेरा experience बहुत अच्छा रहा है.
It's good to know. Take us through an experience that you've had on a film that you worked on as an AD. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay. So on Rajma Chawal, the first project which I was part of pre-production, and I actually saw the principal photography happen. Then I was also sort of there when the post was happening. So a crew becomes a family, and all ADs, all of us, at least except the first AD, all ADs, all the junior posts were sort of very together, tight knit. We had our inside jokes and everything. So a part of the script had a character again called Chiragg, which my director said, you fit. We need you to act in it. I was like, okay. And one scene involved me getting slapped by the female lead of the film.
I'm going to check that out.
And so when the day and time it came, when the shot was just about to be taken, it was cold in Delhi. ठीक है, Delhi की ठंड में हमने shoot किया था, तो थप्पड़ भी तेज लगने वाला था. तो all my AD friends, the entire team, they left their posts just so that they could just be there on the scene to watch it happen, that I was getting slapped. And besides the main camera, all of them had their own cameras out where they were just recording me getting slapped. So yeah, I still have videos from that day where I'm getting slapped in Sunday. It's my second AD's camera. His face is in the camera.
But do they actually slap, or is it just like a sound that they play and it's like a light thing?
So again, different approaches. In some sets, you might just see the hand. Like when I did a mock for a TV show a while ago. And they said that this time when you're slapping, we want you to cross her face. We don't want you to hit her face. The hand just needs to cross her face, because camera-wise, they'll work it in a way that will look like an actual slap. But on a film set, because इतना time नहीं है, location है, जल्दी काम करना है, इतना time नहीं होता है. And I personally would want that slap to happen, because एक असल थप्पड़ का फर्क और एक नकली थप्पड़ का फर्क अलग होता है, दिखता है फर्क दोनों में, impact अलग होता है. तो हाँ, वो actual थप्पड़ पड़ता है. और and I've read about countless instances where actors have actually slapped their co-actor to get a certain performance out. In Kramer versus Kramer, Meryl Streep was actually slapped by Dennis Hoffman. I think that's, if I'm getting the name correct. This one cracking this.
The 1970s movie, right? It was about a divorce.
18s, yeah. And the scene just wasn't happening. Right before action, he comes and slaps her. And when the scenes are, she's just shell-shocked. And that worked in her favor. So yeah, I've seen other countless instances or read about them where the actor actually asked their co-actor to slap them. So this was also the same approach here, that as they asked me, are you okay getting slapped? I'm like, yeah, it's okay if she slaps me, because I know how to look in the camera. So go for it.
Mm-hmm. Art over trauma, I guess.
Like art over trauma.
You were casted as a main lead on a Netflix reality show called IRL. Is that correct?
Yes, that is absolutely correct. That I was casted as one of the main leads on a Netflix.
How did that happen?
Honestly, till about like 4 or 5 days before the show, I had no idea that I was going to be one of the main leads of the show. I had absolutely no information. I almost said no for the show. Of course, there was a casting process where an agency reached out and they sent over a few questions where they asked me to answer it in front of the camera. They asked me to type some of the answers as well. And then I had meetings with the people from the production, Raghu, Rajiv. So yeah, but about 5 days before the show, I had almost told them no, that I can't do this because the show was getting pushed. And I said that's causing me to say no to further commitments. And that's when I realized that, the show is centered around 4 people and I'm one of them 4 people. And the first thing I said was like, why me? I mean, because
why not you?
I was like, this is a little unbelievable to see that an entire show is going to be built around me, because
why did you feel it's unbelievable?
I mean, I have no answer to that. I mean, it was slightly, I expected it to
be true.
A little too good to be true, I would say. I was like, I knew that I stood out from the crowd. I knew when I went in and I spoke to them, I knew I wasn't some regular guy walking in who's speaking to them. But to be in a place where they say we're building a show around you, I was like, okay, I didn't expect that. एंड ऑफ कोर्स डिडंट हैव एन आइडिया, क्योंकि कास्टिंग प्रोसेस ही 3-4 महीने का चल रहा था ना, और 3-4 महीने में कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा था. सिर्फ स्पेकुलेशन थी कि हाँ 10-12-15 लोग होंगे एंड आई वुड बी वन ऑफ दोज 15-20 पीपल. But to be one of the main leads, when it actually is told to you, it takes a moment for you to realize, oh shit, seriously? Me? Okay, great. So it was slightly, like I remember speaking to Yamini, one of the creative producers, and I told her, I'm like, it's a little unbelievable that you're actually doing this around, like building this entire universe around me. She's like, we are.
Did it feel like a lot of pressure?
Not really. It didn't feel a lot. Of course, it took a moment for it to settle in, because that's when I realized how the show is going to be built. But at no point during the casting process I ever tried to portray that I'm something more, or I'm over the top, or this is what I bring to the table in the way कि मैं आपके show में 4 चांद लगा दूंगा. The first few meetings I told them that if you expect something over the top or something dramatic and stuff, I'm not your guy. If you expect tasks, or if you expect me to fight over people or with somebody, get angry, I'm not your guy. मैं सूफी आदमी हूँ, मेरे से नहीं होता. मैं बैठ के रीजनेबली बात कर सकता हूँ. अगर आपको वो चाहिए तो मैं आपके लिए, आई एम नॉट मेंट फॉर इट. सो एट नो पॉइंट इट डिड इट फील लाइक प्रेशर, बिकॉज आई जस्ट हैड टू बी माई सेल्फ एंड पीपल वर रिकॉर्डिंग मी बीइंग माई सेल्फ. सो इट वॉजंट pressurizing, it wasn't difficult. So yeah.
What was your journey like?
The journey was enriching, I would say. Quite enriching. I met people from different walks of life that I wouldn't have met, honestly. And I made friends with people that I wouldn't have really made friends with. मैं एक्चुअल लाइफ में बहुत ही ज़्यादा सिलेक्टिव हूँ अपने दोस्तों को लेके. मेरे को कोई शौक नहीं मैं बाहर जाके बहुत सारे दोस्त बनाऊँ. ये मैंने शो पे भी कई बार बोला था कि आई डोंट फील लाइक मेकिंग, क्योंकि मेरे को लगता नहीं, अगर नेचुरली ऑर्गेनिकली हो रहा है दैट्स ग्रेट. आई एम फ्रेंडली बट आई एम नॉट योर फ्रेंड. सो तो मुझे लगा नहीं था कि जिन लोगों के साथ मैं वो एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करूँगा उनके साथ इतनी अच्छी दोस्ती मेरी हो जाएगी, या शो के बाहर मैं कुछ लोगों से मिलूंगा उनके साथ मेरा रिलेशनशिप इतना अच्छे तरीके से डेवलप करेगा. इससे पहले अगर कोई मेरे को बोलता तो शायद मैं बिलीव नहीं करता, बिकॉज आई वुड हैव जस्ट टोल्ड देम आई वुड माइंड माई ओन बिजनेस, आई वुड लेट देम माइंड देयर ओन बिजनेस, एंड वी वुड जस्ट मेंटेन अ हैप्पी सेफ डिस्टेंस, फ्रेंडली. बट the show did create such an environment where I actually did get close to a lot of people. So that's, I would say, hence enriching experience.
Were you expecting anything from it in particular going into it?
I wasn't expecting it to turn, I will tell you what I wasn't expecting. Instead of, I wasn't expecting it to turn out to be as good as it did. क्योंकि एक certain image है ना हमारे दिमाग में reality shows को लेके कि it'll be loud, it'll have all that jazz, drama, that over the top shots and stuff. But no, so when the show did come out, I was a little blown away by the way all the stories were portrayed. In terms of expectations, not really. I don't keep a lot of expectations in life of people or of things, because things change, people change. And one of my acting teachers actually taught me that, you know, in your life you need to learn how to maintain 3 E's. There should be a perfect oscillation. One is excitement, the other is expectation, and the third E is, I said excitement, right?
Yeah.
Excitement, expectations, and last one, emotion. You can't be too emotional. So you need to learn how to balance all 3. And hence you can have...
Who did this?
Rachit Singh.
Okay.
So he taught me that.
Okay.
And that's one learning that I've always tried to maintain. Hence I don't keep a lot of expectations from people or things. So I was like, when it has to come out, क्योंकि शो के पोस्ट प्रोडक्शन में 1 साल लग गया था ना, एक पॉइंट मुझे लग रहा था शो आने भी नहीं वाला. तो मैंने कभी ये नहीं सोचा था कि अगर शो बाहर नहीं आएगा तो बहुत मेरे लिए बहुत डैमेजेस हो जाएंगे. आई वाज लाइक ओके, इफ इट कम्स आउट, डजंट कम आउट. सो आई वाजंट एक्सपेक्टिंग एनीथिंग, बिकॉज इफ यू हैव एक्सपेक्टेशंस यू आर आल्सो बाउंड टू समहाउ हैव डिसअपॉइंटमेंट्स एज वेल. सो आई वाज लाइक, लेट इट come out as it's supposed to, and we'll see what happens after that.
What did you think of your own storyline?
I think it came out pretty beautifully. It did. I can't, like, no matter how it turned out post the show, whatever, but it came out really beautifully, because I've had people who reached out to me post the show saying that, you know what, because of this story, we somehow believe that there is a chance again. And the one thing, more than the romantic rekindling of people about their love lives, is the fact that a lot of women have reached out and they've said that, you know, we love the fact that you were so respectful to women on the show. At no point did you raise your voice. At no point did you say anything bad about anybody. You, as a matter of, you took a stand for somebody when you saw that you didn't even have the need to. So, like, my mom's proud of the fact that, you know what, she's like, I raised a good, well-mannered boy. So I loved how the way the story came out, the way I was portrayed. So no complaints there.
What is one thing you would have changed about your journey on the show? And you have to say one thing.
One thing I would have changed about my journey on the show is maybe not be so nice.
What would you rather have done?
I would rather, I don't know, be a little more ruder, I would say.
To who?
To to who? To everybody other than the singles.
Everybody?
Okay, not
Are you sure about that?
not everybody. Okay, but honestly, if I could actually go back and change a few things, I would do a better selection after the speed dates. A little more refined selections after the speed dates, because a couple of dates of mine were just outright bad. Oh yeah, actually, one thing that I would say is one thing that I was slightly let down about the part on the show was that I was meeting girls on dates who would say that this is our first date, and it's a dating show. So it's a dating show. One of the reasons why they picked me was because
They were also cutting cakes on their dates.
yes, right, it's cool if you're cutting cakes on dates, yeah, that's fine. But and I asked this to the creative producers later on that, why did you pick me? And they said, because you actually understand what dating is in the way that you've actually gone out on multiple dates with multiple people. So there is a dating culture that you're aware of. And it hasn't necessarily led to a relationship. They said when we were meeting people, dating for them would be relationship. Ki committed, non-committed. So they wanted somebody who understands dating, right? So when I'm on a dating show and I'm going out on dates with people, I don't expect them to come and say, "Arey, ye tumhari pehli date hai." You need to know how the game is played, right? So I would rather make better decisions there.
Did that make you feel like you have to take care of her heart because it's your first date?
I didn't do anything out of the ordinary that I wouldn't do usually. I was on the speed dates. I tried to get to know the other person a lot more, ask the right questions, not creep them out, not say anything objectionable, because I know 10 minutes hai, so there's only so much time. There's only so many questions that can happen. So I would always try to find out more about the other person, and it feels good when you're heard. So I would want them to go back with the feeling that they were heard, that they came and they didn't come and try to impress me or anything, but they actually came and had a conversation with me. So at no point did I feel ki I need to somehow take care or make sure that our heart is not broken. And as a matter of fact, one girl on one of the speed dates did actually start crying, because we started
On the speed dates?
on the speed dates.
On the first few dates, the speed dates.
This was actually my last speed date on the first day. And that girl started crying because she started talking about her ex, and then she started crying because she's like, this happened, that happened. And I told her, you know what, dude, just, you need to heal first. You need to take your time. It's okay. Calm down. We don't have to talk about it. It's okay. It's cool. But there's clearly some trauma that you need to deal with. So it's understandable. वहीं तक ही ठीक था कि not responsible to make sure that's a graded, but just make sure the other person is heard. And how I would usually be in real life. तो ठीक है, पहली डेट अगर आपकी भी है तो खराब तो नहीं कर सकते ना, तो बात ही कर लेते हैं ठीक से.
Any other thing that you would have done differently? Any other decision that you would have taken differently?
I probably would have not given the ring to anybody towards the end.
At all?
Yeah.
Or would you have rather given it to Sifat?
No, I don't think I would have given it to anybody.
Just like Sakshi?
Yeah.
Why?
Call it what you may. I mean, after seeing the show, there was only, till the time the show was being shot, there was only certain information that we saw or were aware of, right? And I, again, benefit or doubt wali galti hai ki I expected people to be honest. I expected people to be courageous, be brave about their choices, and a lot of people weren't. So I'd rather want people to be brave, because कुछ पसंद है तो पसंद है ना, खुल के बोलो. और मैं तो शो पे कितनी बार बोला, ढिंडोरा पीट के बोलो कि भाई पसंद है. There is this saying by a writer that I do not wish upon you the love of a coward. So when the time comes when you need to stand for somebody you feel something for and you don't, that's disrespectful, man. That's disrespectful to you, to yourself, and the other person as well. So yeah, I would rather have people be honest. सिफत के साथ मेरा बस यही था कि we didn't know each other so much at that point of time, and And that's something that I've also expressed to her. And knowing the way Pratham and Sifat were, now that I've seen the show, I don't think it would have also made sense for me, because Sifat also had, right before the finale, said that she wanted to keep her distance from me because she understood what I shared with the other person, right? So it also wouldn't have made sense for me to say, you know what, let's give you the ring after you've told me you want to maintain distance. So I can't give the ring to her. And if I could do it again, then I also wouldn't give the ring to Vidushi, because clearly she liked somebody else. She just couldn't say it.
What happened with Vidushi?
Nothing. She realized later on she liked somebody else. That's all it. And I even remember the discussion. I just told her, at least now you know. I actually told her the same thing that I said on the finale, that I asked myself, whom would it hurt to lose more? And I asked her the same question, and she had her answer. So I was like, okay, great. We've known each other for 50, if the show is 10 episodes, we've shot for a month, and of that we've met the other person max 10 or 12 times. So I've only known you for 10, 12 days, right? So, I mean, life's not going to end there. And whatever I shared with her was great. It was beautiful. The stories come out wonderfully. Other than that, no ill will. I'm glad that she actually then found somebody that she wanted to be with.
How did you take the rejection?
How you take a rejection? You make your peace with it and you move on. That is, as a matter of the show, people also at the start ask me that if you face rejection, if it were to put up to a choice between you and some other guy, and the girl has to decide and she ends up picking the other guy, how would you react? I'm like, okay, that's her life. I'm not gonna be like, nahi, pick me, choose me. If the other person doesn't want to be with me, then they don't want to be with me. I can't be like, no, be with me, right? So rejection's a part of life, and it's not the first time I've been rejected. So it was okay. I was like, theek hai, to each its own. People accept the love they think they deserve. So
who accepted the love she thought she deserved? Or,
who accepted the love
they thought they deserved? Who is this aimed at? We accept the love we think
it's aimed at everybody. I don't think it's just aimed at one person. I would rather aim it at everybody, that in your life, if you're willing to be with somebody and if you think that they're the right person, then we're just bound by the thought that this person is right for me. I believe that you love yourself at 100%, the other person has to love you at 110%. So if somebody can give you 110%, that is what I deserve. So if you deserve somebody who's, when the time comes, who's not even standing and you think that's right for you, then by all means go for it. It's your life. Hence, people accept the love they think they deserve. So if you think you deserve the best, then you get the best. It's as simple as that.
How has life been post IRL, post it coming out?
Post IRL coming out, life has been overwhelming, because there's suddenly so much interest in my life as to what's happening, what am I doing, where are people after the show, and everybody wants to know. It's been overwhelming because I'm not used to going out and just people just suddenly recognizing me and asking for pictures and everything. So it's a little overwhelming, and you have to be sweet, and no matter what time of the day it is, and no matter if you're drunk or not drunk, I come fly and I'm like, okay, great, let's get a picture clicked. You try and make the other person comfortable. So it's been overwhelming, but it's also been fun. When I signed up for that, I knew this would happen. So I can't really say that, I wasn't prepared for it. I knew what I was signing up for. But it happened all of a sudden, like almost an overnight experience where suddenly there's so much interest happening. So it took a little while to get used to it, but it wasn't something that I wasn't prepared for in a way.
What are the struggles of an actor in Bombay?
Besides the inconsistency of work, struggles, it's a big word, man. Struggles, because different people have different struggles, different actors have different struggles. People who've done work out there, they're too self-critical of it, so that's a struggle for them. But somebody who's just trying to make it onto the scene, finding consistency is a struggle, because you don't know where your next paycheck is coming from. Will it even pay the bills, or for how long will you need to be dependent upon your family? Is your family supportive of your choice in this career or not? Are you even getting the right work that you want to do? Are you compromising for money and just doing mediocre job? So struggles, mental struggles, sitting at home, knowing that today is not going to be productive, there's not going to be an audition, कोई काम नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है, क्या करें फिर? तो struggles तो हैं काफ़ी सारे, battles हैं.
How do you deal with it?
I don't make my life about my work is how I deal with it. I learned it a long while ago that as much as I love the work, as much as I love the craft, as much as I love being on set, getting to do something productive, I realized that this cannot just be my life. क्योंकि अगर यही रह जाएगा तो फिर मैं I'll get into a trap and I won't be able to get out of it. There has to be other things contributing to this as well. There has to be different zone as well, which is why I love playing sports, which is why I love reading. I get to compete in a sport. That's also a part of my life. I am a mixed martial artist. I get to compete in tournaments or I get to give my belt test. That's a different part of my life. I read, I write, I get to share my thoughts with people online and they resonate with it. That's also part of my life. All of these little things are adding on to that baking. So your life can just not be about your work. If it just becomes about your work, then it's a toxic sphere I feel to be in. There has to be other things to keep you engaged, to keep you busy, to keep you stimulated, I believe. That's how I keep myself sane. Yeah.
Chiragg, you've been an actor and AD and you've been in the entertainment space for a while. So what's one movie you'd like to recommend to us and why?
One movie that I'd like to recommend to you would be, it's my favorite movie. I'm not going to give you like a traditional answer of The Godfather or Wonka and stuff. This movie happens to be my favorite movie. It's called Warrior. It's by this not so popular director called Gavin O'Connor. It's about these two brothers who somehow did some turn of events, land up in the same mixed martial arts tournament. And I know it sounds like a sports movie where there is an underdog where he triumphs in the end. No, there are so many multiple layers to this movie. There is a father who's on really bad terms with both his sons. There are these two sons who've not spoken to each other in ages. There is one son who's coming from an army background where he's lost his best friend and he wants to take care of his family. And then the other son is dealing with financial issues and he can't take care of his family. So he's forced to step back into the ring because he can't make ends meet. And then he's put in a place where he has to compete with probably the best fighters around the globe. And he's just a teacher. So stuff like that. So there are so many more layers to the movie and it looks like a mixed martial arts movie. It looks like a sports movie, but it's not. There's got some good family drama in it. It's got some impeccable sound design, some great cinematography, and the writing is absolutely spot on. There are some scenes which just like give you goosebumps, and they're not even I'm not even talking about the scenes in the octagon where they're fighting. There's just some scenes besides that which are just beautifully done by the actors. The cinematography is top notch. The sound design is top notch. So that's my favorite film.
Thank you so much, Chiragg. This is a great conversation. And thank you so much for coming to Famous TV and wishing you all the very best for your future endeavors and CrossFit because you're competing, right?
Yes.
Great.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here.
Great. Thank you so much.